So you get straight into it, my boy.
And I just woke up and I have no idea.
First of all, let's get into this. The title of this says Florida mom has sex with family on video. Family dog, though. Let's just take that in, y'all. It says Florida. Y'all don't see it because we got this in the way. Let me move it out the way so y'all can actually see this bullshit. Family, you only see the family dog part on there. It takes too much. Read that title for me, y'all. Florida mom had sex with the fucking family dog. It's where we at. That's just where we are at in America right now.
We'll talk to. I'm just reading you the search warrant. Do you understand?
A young mother in Florida on body camera, and she'll later admit to engaging in sex acts with the family dog and more. I have the disturbing case out of Florida and what else White told police.
Okay, there we go.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy, and just a reminder, we are now available on Spotify. You can watch us and listen to us there, so please check us out and follow us on Spotify. Samantha Lee White is a petite blonde from North Fort Myers, Florida, and she has a young child, which makes it really sad that she's on her way to prison, and she's going there for sex crimes against
animals, left Airbud alone.
Specifically a dog. This case started in February 2024 when police and deputies went to her home with a search warrant. They were looking for electronic devices.
That's good enough, chat. That'll do, chat. All right.
Yeah. Just have her get the child and then come down and then you can. So get the child first and then read it. I'll follow her in there. When I come get the baby, I'll follow you in there. Davis, we're coming. Ruger, shut up.
Hold on, chat. Still loud as hell. You can't hear, man. Yeah, you can't even hear, man.
Alright. Wait 1 second. You're walking too fast for me. I'm not hearing you.
So the officer follows Samantha White up to the second floor of the house, and there are already other officers there with the little boy.
You got Twinkle Star in your mocap? Yeah. Can we put it back in your crib? He's just been hanging out. Just
Want to grab a blanket? She got a motherfucking baby, y'all. So this title is saying this poor boy or girl gotta grow up. Embarrassing, man. They gonna watch this video one day.
Hey. Hey, buddy.
what's
Is that what you?
for me? I have shoes. Yes, they're gonna
The
be out by the
downstairs?
door.
Okay. Alright.
Buddy, some people came to protect us today. Yeah. Yeah, that is your baby. Can you go in here real quick, please? I don't know if that's gonna mess with anything. I just don't want him to run out the door.
No, yeah, I hear you.
He's a little one that he won't let me see catching.
Am I missing something, Chad? Why I feel like it went straight into the video? What the fuck? I have no idea what's happening right now. I know what the title says. That's about as much as I know. That she done hit Air Bud. But outside of that, I have no idea what's happening right now. I know she picked her son up.
Is she over there?
Her daughter.
Yeah.
Mama shoe. Yeah, Mama got shoe on, baby.
I'm sorry, score update. The OKC is actively whooping Minnesota's ass right now. 104 to 86. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. That's crazy.
Yeah, all the cars can protect us.
Oh.
Say hi, everybody. Yeah, there are your mom's cars.
Watching this is really, really sad, knowing what we know now and seeing this child in the video because his mom is going to be arrested and is now on her way to prison. The officer then reads.
You know what's happening now, y'all? Damn.
The search warrant to Samantha White.
I'm gonna, once we get over here.
Going back to like.
Yeah, right here where it's warm a little. Alright, so I'm gonna read you this. We have a search warrant for the residence, okay? It's gonna be under agency case number with Lee County 24-06919.
The charges in Samantha White's case are
Damn.
concerning to say the very least. I looked her up on truthfinder.com to see what might come up. Truthfinder come back.
doing
It's
none of that
simply
ad
incorrect
shit.
records.
You thought you
is
had me.
standing there, accessing information about almost anyone. Samantha White is standing there holding her son as the officer reads the description of the house in the warrant, but then the officer tells her why they are actually there and what they think they will find.
This is what we're searching the house for. The law prohibits sexual performance by a child controlled by Florida State Statute 827.071,
recorded it,
Section
y'all.
5 of the Florida State Statute. The firm has probable cause to believe and does believe that the property connected with the above listed crime is currently being contained, stored, or concealed within the following location. Direction to locate, and this is just the address of how we got here. We're from the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Came from 14750 6 Mile Cypress, Fort Myers, Florida, headed towards Independence Circle. Basically, this is just the address.
Chat, let me find out she was making OF videos with her fucking dog, bro. Let me find out she was making videos with Beethoven. She's sick, bro. Like, what makes, bro, how does somebody look at a dog? Especially a male, but it's not, let's be real. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but it's a high percent that it's always women that are getting penetrated by the animal. Let's just say that. I'm not saying, it's probably weird men that are definitely doing that shit to animals, but a lot of the times that we see, it's the woman getting. So boom, as a woman, how the hell do you look at a dog like, like, look at the way he pants and drools. Like, what turns you on about a fucking dog? How did it get to that point, bro?
So how we arrived here, and the following items is what we're going to be looking for. Images or videos of child engaging in sexual conduct defined in Florida State Statute 827.071.
I don't understand.
Hold on.
You don't understand. Motherfuckers say anything when they get caught. You understand everything that's going on. You knew when the police came. You knew what they were there for.
Can't have you read this right now.
Okay.
You calling her Cap? You gonna call this Cap,
I
Jack?
just woke up and I have no idea what's
All that Cap. Say that shit.
going on.
We'll talk to. I'm just reading you the search warrant. Do you understand?
You done fucked your woof.
Do you
You
want
done
to?
hit
Get an
doggy bone,
understanding?
man.
Do you want me to keep reading, or do you want to
Crazy.
look at it yourself?
That dog is like, that dog is a victim, bro. He just wanted to be treated like a normal pet, let out, fed, drink water. He done got crazy.
Oh,
I'll look at it myself.
okay. Just. Well, we're gonna be looking for electronics, basically. That can. Are you okay? I know this is a pretty hard. I'm sorry, I made your money cry, baby.
And that's what I just don't want because I can't give him to
Okay.
his dad and I can't give him to anybody.
You wasn't thinking that when you was doing the freak a leak to the doggy. All this shit you saying, you was not doing that when the dog was getting
The judge was well. I'll just read the
assaulted.
final. You can look at it in a minute. The warrant was presented to the judge on the 14th, which was yesterday, who approved it.
So, this is an investigation about child pornography, child sex abuse materials. This is very,
Whoa, hold on. They said dog. What the fuck is going on right now, bro? Child.
very serious.
All right, questions? So basically, we're gonna search.
Yes.
As soon as the house is, we're done, we'll turn it back over. We're gonna talk to you about this.
Okay.
Okay, you have any questions for us?
At some point, I need a water and to use the restroom.
Okay.
Other than that,
Yeah, we can do that. All right.
You get all of that in your cell. You can get some water. You can use the restroom. And you can breathe. Whatever all that shit you're doing right now, you can do that shit in the holding tank.
and then at some point, I would also like to go in the little garden area just.
Oh, they don't got gardens. Yeah, they don't got gardens, though. They got a lot of cement. It's a lot of hard, cold floors and metal shit. Yeah, they don't got gardens, though.
I can set him down and he can play.
Okay. Perfect.
Damn,
So let me just
man.
coordinate with them, and I'll be right back.
And when can I see my husband?
In a minute.
Okay.
We'll talk to you guys.
Okay.
And just for the record, this warrant was served at 7:47 a.m. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll be right back.
I'll get to Samantha White's husband, John White, in a bit, but first, I'll tell you what police say Samantha White told them. The detective said that White told them that she was fascinated by a male horse's anatomy and would look up videos and photos
It's always horses, bro. See? It's always the horses, bro. Like, what do women, like, what the fuck?
of it online. White also told the detectives that she looked up videos of horses engaged in sex with other horses and with a woman. Police said this led to other revelations from White that she would only discuss with a female detective. Samantha White then admitted to having sex with her family dog. She decided to try it since the horse's anatomy interested her so much, but she told the detective the interaction with the dog wasn't her thing. Now back to the body.
This is bad, bro. It's so much I could say. My brain is like overloading right now. My shit is like, it's an office full of little people in my brain. Like, the office is on fire right now and papers are getting through in the air. She said, these horses turned me on, fuck it. And looked at the dog like, you'll do for now. Like, bro, what the fuck? Why did they say child, though? What's the child about?
Camera video.
She started crying, so she didn't want me to finish it. I'm like, we're looking for electronics.
You told her she's gonna have the copy of it.
Yeah, I said this is gonna be a copy, and I told her that the judge who authored the search when I showed her the day and time.
Okay.
Crazy.
The only other thing we're gonna try is we want to have her come in and get the dog. There's one little section we couldn't clear,
Okay.
so if we can have her either leave little guy or
She said she does.
she can keep him with her. That's fine.
I had her come
We just
in.
want to put him on a leash or let's just find. I'll go with you. Let's just see if we can find a spot once we set.
Bro, the dog.
Yeah,
I thought they were talking about the
Too late.
kid.
I don't know how many
You know,
times
some
I
people
stepped
do
on
be putting their
everything.
kids on leash. I ain't with that shit,
Ma'am,
though.
is there anywhere we can put the dogs besides that space?
Dogs.
over
It's
here?
more than
Or,
one.
Like, are they allowed out?
It's more than one. She was having too much fun in that house, bro. That is sick. That one, it didn't stop at one dog. And I think she lying about her not liking it. That's crazy, bro.
I can let them out over here, and then they'll be trapped in there, and nobody
Will
else
that be
will have
okay with you?
access. Yes.
It'll just help
I
us
just
speed
prefer
things up.
me.
No,
to
we would prefer
I
you to
just
do it
don't
as
know
well.
how they would react.
Okay.
Everybody else.
Are you
yes.
able to help do that right
They're
now?
just kind of like, I don't know how they'll react. They should be scared of you. They should be more safe when the police come than you. You're the predator to them. Dogs don't even know, probably, bro. Damn, man. This is a sick and crazy story.
I sure am. When we go in, is there a way I can just get a sip of water before we do
absolutely.
that?
For sure.
They have Potter in jail.
I need to use the restroom. But I'm not using that one.
So the detectives go into the house to get the family's dogs.
Do you mind if she holds the baby really quick while we do that?
I do.
Okay, that's fine.
No, that's okay.
This will just need to be moved, and we'll have to close this behind us. Otherwise, the dogs will run right out this way.
Perfect. Okay. If you guys want to grab your breach, we're gonna...
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to
Hmm,
say
I
it's
actually
a
wasn't.
great idea.
close this.
Yeah, Mama knows a little
Feel you want to...
Oh, they got that mess ready. They daring a dog to run out. That bitch like get burnt eyes. Red eye.
I'm getting a glass of water before we do this. Yeah? Yeah, runny nose. It's okay, don't baby.
Drink that water. And take it all in. The house that you're in right now.
So they're gonna end up
'Cause
going
you're not
right
going
around
there
this
tonight.
way, and they'll go right
You won't
in
be
the front
sleeping
yard.
there tonight.
They're very friendly.
Yeah, I'm not
They just
Yeah, we're not worried. We deal with dogs all the time.
Yeah, they ain't worried about
one's
them
gonna come
dogs.
right away, and
Hey,
then
that
two more
gate's
will be
closed,
coming.
right?
Yeah, I think they just closed it.
They're gonna come this way, John? They're gonna come right. Hey, Chloe! Hey, Chloe! Hey.
Hey!
Outside!
Go outside!
No, you guys know not that way. Not that way. Stella, Luna, Ruger.
Them dogs trying to escape, bro. They happy to
Three
see.
dogs are removed from the house, and now the detectives have to make sure that Samantha White is out of the house.
Grabbing his bicycle so I can
Yeah, that's fine.
Them dogs was happy to run out.
Yeah.
Them dogs happy to see the police. The dogs somehow know how some people think they do. That's why they was happy to see the police. They know they are saved. Them niggas are happy to be away from her. She probably was just, oh man. Look like she got some little cat shit right here too. She one of them super animal ladies probably. But like her obsession just got to like another, like it's like you can love animals, but her shit shifted to in love. Like
But
It's gonna be. Is it gonna?
I will be fine for at least another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Can we stay in here or is that a no-go?
She wants to know if they can stay over there. Yeah, I can stay over there.
Or you want to look at Sergeant?
You got all those, and then that one comes from. You know, and he's like, hey.
I did, I cleared it. Oh, you did? Okay. Yes, it's good. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I got
That day, Samantha White was arrested and charged with having sexual contact with animals. She was released the very
Sick.
next day after posting bail. Samantha's husband, John White, was interviewed.
Hey, what they say, listen and don't judge. Well, we looking and we judging. He looks like a weirdo, bro. He looks like he was behind all of this. Then it's throwing me off because this is mugshot. What the fuck he got his suit and tie? He was ready. He must have thought like, who the fuck told him what jail was like? Hell, you trying to impress somebody going to jail with a suit on, bro?
Interviewed by detectives. The police report says John denied knowledge of how his cell phone could have ended up inside the toilet bowl where it was located by detectives after John took an
Oh, that nigga done threw his phone away. He put it in the toilet and didn't even flush it. Because how did they find the phone?
extended.
John had denied. Wait, what? Cell phone could have ended up inside the toilet bowl where it was located by detectives. He didn't even. He done left his phone there to sit in the toilet.
Amount of time to exit the residence during the search warrant service and announcements of law enforcement. John advised there were pictures of himself, his wife Samantha, and Samantha having sex with a canine on.
Oh, I knew it. He's the recorder. Oh, that's disgusting, bro. People become more and more just. The human being is becoming each year the human being is becoming more crazier as a species, bro.
His cell phone. The canine involved in the sexual acts with Samantha is their chocolate male Labrador retriever. John believes there are 1 or 2 files depicting Samantha engaging in sex acts with their canine
See, more than
sometime in the end of last year, 2023.
See, and she said she didn't like it. He said videos. She said more than one, bro. Samantha, you're a dirty motherfucker. Samantha, you little dirty motherfucker. And you a liar. She like that shit. Damn. Shit is. My bad, child. It's went all the way down. Alright.
Enforcement. John advised there were pictures of himself, his wife Samantha, involved in the sexual acts with Samantha is their chocolate male Labrador retriever. John believes there are 1 or 2 files depicting Samantha engaging in sex acts with their canine sometime in the end of last year, 2023, or the beginning of this year, 2024. John stated that day of the incident, Samantha and he were drinking and the canine was being annoying. John does not recall who mentioned engaging in sexual acts with the canine, but believes it would have been Samantha. And Samantha had apparently told the police that.
Bro, so you're telling me, hold on. So, I just had to do it. You're telling me the dog was being annoying, barking, shooing, and all that. Y'all didn't pop him real quick, make him. Y'all didn't just a little quick pop to make him know. Y'all ain't yell at him. Y'all ain't put him outside. Y'all decided to fuck him. Yeah, bro. The world's not a real place.
That she would sometimes think about this stuff when she was drinking. The report says that John White admitted to recording Samantha engaging in the sex acts.
I knew it. Look, I sort of got out on pre-watch shit, bro. Did I tell you? We look and we judge. We saw how weird he looked. I told you he probably was recording it or the scheme of this shit. I could tell, bro.
Dog. John White was also arrested.
You can tell. Look. He looks like he owns a store where shit like that happens at, just all in the back. He looked like he looked like he has his own store where shit like that just happens at. People just fucking animals. The Animal Wild House. He got a name for it, probably not. Like, he looks like everything that they saying he doing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, that's why I don't be mad. Like, sometimes when they be like, stereotypes and all that. Sometimes you can look at people and you can just see. Sometimes you can just see and tell, bro. And in this case, I was right.
And charged with filming and possessing images or videos of animal sexual activity.
I want to know why they say child at the beginning. Did they mean animal or something, probably? Or is it all under the same, like, charge? Because they said child. They said child at the beginning. And that's what pissed me off. But it looked like it's just dogs.
In February of
It don't make it no
2024.
better, but
Then last July, he was booked into the jail again after being charged with several counts of possession of child pornography.
that's where it came from. I'm doubling down. Fuck that nigga in the picture. I'm doubling down now. You sick motherfucker. Fuck him. I hope, man. I hope he gets his ass. Man, I hope motherfuckers whoop his ass for fun every time they see him in that bit. I don't like, bro, anything with elderly children, elders, children, or any like defenseless or anything like them. No remorse, bro. I hope the worst shit happens to them. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, that's so weird. And she's sick, bro. You done had a kid. You had a kid with a nigga that's going to jail for child pornography. You're just sick, bro. It always be the dumbass girls that just be cool or like the dude, like they do in this case. Doing it with they dude with the weird shit, bro. Fuck him, chat.
February of 2024. Then last July, he was booked into the jail again after being charged with
Sicko.
several counts of possession of child pornography. At the same time, Samantha White was also charged with possessing and transmitting child pornography. Then earlier this month,
And then you doing it too. Like, I told you, it's always the female. She just falling right into it, doing it with him, bro. And y'all have a kid together, bro. And he's gonna grow up in this video. He's not gonna live this under, bro. He's gonna have to wipe away his parents and say that somebody else is his parents in order to have a normal life. If he ever would have said y'all was his parents, bro, this shit would come back up somehow, bro. And I don't even blame him, bro. I hope he don't even end up knowing who they is. He looked like he was a little older, so he might know some, but that's disgusting, bro.
Samantha White
Sick.
pleaded guilty to 3 counts of sexual activity involving animals. Those child pornography charges were actually dropped. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison and 3 years probation after her release.
I want to bring in Dr.
So she ain't go to jail. That's all that sound like. She probably was on 3-year probation. The system they fail with the people that really need to be in there. But they want to always lock up somebody that's doing kind of a little bit, but they're trying to do it for their family and all that. Not saying it's good or wrong, but if y'all say the law, bro, y'all be letting a lot of people slip under it.
Dr. Daniel Bober. He's a forensic psychiatrist to talk a little bit about this case. Dr. Bober, I've talked to you a little bit about bestiality before. I mean, it's a really touchy, kind of gross subject, but we have a woman here who's been sentenced to 3 years in prison.
That why his face is like that. Why he look like he ain't? Why he look like one of them kids that say they mad? He said, "I ain't mad at you." It turned his frown upside down. Why he so damn mad?
And when the police went to her door, she apparently readily admitted that she had a fascination with, certain parts of animals' anatomy.
Crazy.
She discussed horses, she discussed dogs, and the investigation kind of unfolded from there. They went there with a search warrant because they had some information about her possibly having some child sex abuse material, things like that. So where does this come from? Where do people develop these fascinations?
So just some clarification on some of these terms. So zoophilia is classified as a paraphilia, which is an atypical or deviant sexual interest. So the zoophilia is the sexual urges or sexual fantasies about animals. Now, that in and of itself, believe it or not, is not a mental illness until there is some level of distress or
What do you mean
impairment
that's not?
or some negative consequence.
So you saying a person can have a just normal mind walking up to a dog and fucking them? No, that don't matter if they're impaired or nothing. Like, what the fuck? Anybody just to do that is fucked up in the head, bro. It don't matter, bro.
Bestiality is the illegal part. It's the behavior. It's having sex or sexual relations with animals. And so that's the part that is illegal in a lot of different jurisdictions. A lot of these types of behaviors are more studied often in men than in women. But we know that people who have paraphilias very often will have a history of childhood sexual abuse, where they have distorted sexual development and problems with normal boundaries. Very often they suffer from emotional neglect. In terms of mental health disorders, we can see sometimes they can suffer from psychosis, personality disorders, antisocial behavior, borderline personality disorder, problems with attachment, problems with boundaries, obviously a no regard for the rights of the animals or the way it's affecting the animals. And sometimes they have problems with impulse control or ADHD. A lot of us have fantasies, but that doesn't mean we have to act on them. So those people have trouble controlling their impulses. They have an inability to exercise restraint, and they will often act on these deviant fantasies. And of course, there are people who use substances, and so the substances will lower their inhibitions, and they will act out these fantasies. They rationalize their behavior.
That's so fun. Coolest plugin I ever used. Arcade. It's used by the top artists and producers in the game. You could chop samples, play out instruments, or use loops.
They, basically say, oh, this is no big deal. The animal is not being affected by it. They minimize the harm, which of course we know there's tremendous harm. And then a lot of people who have social isolation and have trouble attaching to other human beings will sometimes do this. So there are a variety of factors that are at play that can make this occur.
They make them occur, but it's no excuse.
Is when you're just thinking about it and fixating on it. It moves into a crime and becomes bestiality when you actually act on it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, they say she acted on it. I guess she was sentenced for having sexual interactions, relations with 4 dogs. And this was discovered, I guess. There were videos of this, some other things. There was some mention about her husband, who also has been charged in this case, but his case is pending. He has not been sentenced yet. The phone being found in the toilet tank, things like that. So, I mean, she's going to prison for 3 years for this down in Florida.
Oh, she's going to
3
jail?
years sounds like a really long time. And she's going to be on the Animal Abuser Registry.
What?
So,
Chad, I knew they had a child registry, but they have an animal. Being on that is crazy. Like, do they send them to the houses or like on the milk cartons? Not milk cartons, but like, let me do that shit. But how do they release the dog registry list? I mean, the animal one. And what does that look like? A picture of her like a pet offender or whatever. Like, and I ain't even being funny. I really want to know. That's crazy. She's on the pet sex offender list. Do not let her around their dogs. They want to let people. That's crazy. I did not know that, bro.
So she, obviously this had to have been pretty significant for them to sentence her to 3 years in prison. Plus, she'll be on probation when she
Because
gets
they
out.
know she has something to do. That little child.
Yeah, I mean, harming an animal, a completely defenseless creature. I mean, I think we've talked about this before. I mean, I have 2 myself. I think you have dogs too.
Yes.
So for someone like me, I find it particularly offensive. These animals, they're so special. They're really like our kids. And for someone to come after them, it's really a very similar type reaction. So I can see where someone would sort of hit them hard with a sentence to send a message that this is not acceptable behavior, especially when you're preying upon creatures that are totally defenseless, totally innocent, and obviously can't speak and defend themselves. So it's a pretty horrific crime.
When somebody goes to prison and they're sentenced for something like this, I mean, 3 years in prison, plus she's already, I guess, been in jail for a time too. I kind of think to myself, well, she's going to be in prison for a time. There are programs in prison. There's programming that you can take part in. You know, I guess she has a choice. Do you go to prison and you do your time and then you just get out, or do you make some use of your time in there and then you get out and you're on this animal abuser registry and you're on probation? I mean,
which is crazy.
How do you treat something like this? Like, how do you get better so when you get out, you don't kind of do this, go back to the same behavior and do this again?
Step 1, no more pets. Let's just clear all the animals. I don't even want no animal pictures in your house. Let me be the judge on this case. Samantha, after you do your years, no pets. I don't even want your screensaver little cute chihuahua. I don't want you to share no pets. I damn near don't want to even hear you say pets in public. No more dog parks, no more animals. You have to work a real job. I don't give a fuck what your job was or what you were doing or if you were working. You're working now. You know what you're doing? You're going to work the bottom of the barrel. Popeyes in the hood. The busy one. The one where you're going to deal with about 30 cuss outs, a possible shootout in parking lot, fights, and all that. I want you in that. You have to work that midday going through the rush hour shift when they get off of work. On top of that, once a week, I want you to write on a piece of paper, I will not hurt an animal 100 times. I don't give a fuck if that's for little kids. Either do that or do another 3 years in jail. That's how I'm doing Samantha, bro. What the fuck is wrong with her?
So
and the dude, cause that little child shit and all that, dude, cause she did it too. But she just retarded, bro. She was probably just sending it, the little child pornography. She was just probably sending or something, whatever the case is. I don't excuse her. But the dude had everything to do with that situation. Him, you don't get out. And I'm assigning 3 inmates to whoop your ass every day. Take it or leave it. And if you say you don't like it or say anything besides okay, it's going to be 5 inmates a day. That's how we're going to do him.
Touched on before.
W. Judge Rance.
Where there's a complex
fuck wrong with him, man.
A psychological picture of someone who engaged in this type of behavior. So someone like this that I look at, I would say, they would need what we call cognitive behavioral therapy or trauma-informed care. We need to look at the factors that led to this type of behavior. I would want to look at that relationship that she was in with her husband prior to this occurring. How much did he play into this? Was he someone that encouraged it? Was he more passive? Was he complicit? I would want to know a lot more about her background to think about what would be the best way to treat her.
Mm-hmm. What's really concerning about this too, when the police went to the home to execute this search warrant, there was a child in the home. I mean, she's holding a child while the police are there. So,
dumbass. And she was only holding a child. Let's get it right. She was only holding a child because she wanted to use that child for sympathy because she knew she was going to jail. She went and grabbed her son to grab him. Like, come on now. She used him for like a sympathy thing. And you're sick. We're not falling for that shit.
We don't know exactly everything that happened in that house, and you never know what happens behind closed doors at somebody's house. But there was a child in the home when this activity was going on. Again, we don't know where the child was located when it was happening, but that's a pretty grave concern too. That this type of behavior, sex with a dog, sexual activity with a dog, involving both parents, apparently, allegedly, is happening with a small child in the home.
Right, and at the very least, the child was present under the same roof when this was going on, and at the very worst, the child was involved. And I actually think back to the beginning of my career. I was actually involved in a child custody case that had this type of, believe it or not, this type of activity in it. And this could be terribly, terribly traumatizing and deeply compromising for a child and for their development. And it's obviously its own form of trauma, abuse, and neglect. So the fact that the child is there is, all the more concerning.
Let's hope that the child wasn't anywhere near this. When they first charged this out, she, in July of last year, she had been charged with an additional 3 counts of possession of obscene material, including depictions of child pornography. So it said depictions of it. It didn't go any further in describing it in the counts. But then she ended up pleading guilty to the counts involving the dog, both felony and misdemeanor counts.
You're on camera.
So they must have dropped those other child depiction charges. I'm thinking maybe she was searching around on the internet for those types of things, but possibly. That's concerning, though, too, because if there was child pornography related stuff involved here.
She has a child.
I mean, even looking at that stuff, that's very concerning.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said before that seemed like a pretty stiff sentence.
That was a blessing that shit happened, bro. Who would have knew what that shit would have escalated to? Now that I'm thinking about it, bro. That was God getting that baby out of that household, bro. That's all that shit was, bro. Because they are definitely right. That's concerning. And I pray that nothing happened to that baby. Damn.
Well, I guess it really depends. For some people, it's a very stiff sentence, and for some people, it's not enough time. But there's indications that some of these tendencies may have gone into kids as well. And so this is a very, very mentally ill woman who needs a lot of help, and who certainly is a danger to society, pets and people alike, and really is going to need some significant treatment.
Yeah. I mean, 3 years. I mean, I don't know if it's stiff enough, obviously. I mean, they agreed to this sentence. So, I'm just hoping she gets out and doesn't do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Daniel Bober, as always.
Yeah, man. That's sick, bro. Prayers to that kid, though. I hope he live a flourishing, normal life, because, man, you definitely dodged the weird. And who knows what they would have did to him, bro. Pretty sure it's a boy.
Dollar for dollar. I'm going dollar for dollar. She screaming, she holler, she liking the way that I walk. I don't need a designer to get right behind her. She loving the way that I talk. All this hustling, grinding, this business I'm minding. I do all this shit on my own. Now I'm writing on my wrongs. Picking up pieces I'm on. I ain't gonna stop till I get me a rose.